Adobe Audition CC allows you to combine multiple audio files into a complete composition with the multitrack editor. When you create a new multitrack session, you have the option to begin with default settings, track names, and no effects, or to use one of several template session types which have pre-named tracks with useful effects already applied. Let's use a template, Radio VO with music ducking. To follow along, copy the assets that accompany this tutorial to your Creative Cloud account. Multitrack session effects can be applied to individual clips or to the tracks on which the clips are located. Using track-based effects is an extremely efficient way to make adjustments to multiple clips, though you'll need to organize your session to make sure clips are added to the correct tracks. In this template session, tracks are named to make it easier to organize your session. In this case, add music to the music track and lower the track level to about -18 dB because it's likely to be generally too loud otherwise. The music track already has an effect applied called dynamics processing, which is pre-configured to reduce the audio level for clips on this track when there's audio on the voiceover track. This is called music ducking. This system of using the contents of one track to change the way an effect is applied on another track is called sidechaining. A good example of using this effect is in radio broadcasting, where music gets quieter while the DJ speaks. Let's try this out by recording my voice directly into the multitrack session. You can record audio from any hardware inputs you have directly onto a track. In this example, I'm going to record my microphone alone, but you could easily configure multiple tracks to record different inputs at the same time. This might be a music performance with multiple instruments or multiple microphones. I'm choosing my microphone and arming the track for recording by clicking this button. Notice the meter now shows the level as I'm speaking. This helps you verify that you have the correct input selected. Let's record now. Because the voiceover track is armed for recording, when I click the record button at the bottom of the editor panel, new audio will be recorded onto the track. The recording begins at the location of the playhead, which is this line. This is some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps in my speech, because this demonstrates music ducking. Let's listen to that with the ducking now applied to the music. This is some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps in my speech because this demonstrates music ducking. View track effects by clicking on the effects button. If the music level needs to be reduced more or less, then by double-clicking on the effect name, you can change the effects in the dynamics processing effect. These controls change the relationship between the original audio level and the output audio level. In this case, I'm making a dramatic change to the output so you can hear a more exaggerated effect. Let's play this over again and hear how the sound changes. This is some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps in my speech because this demonstrates music ducking. If you don't like the way things sound, you can always go back to the dynamics processing effect and make further adjustments. I'm going to use the razor tool to separate the sections of voiceover and reposition them to change the timing. Now that I'm happy with the new timing, I'm going to choose the Move tool, select them, right-click, and choose Groups, Group Clips. Notice the keyboard shortcut is Ctrl-G. That's Command-G on macOS. Now, when I move any of these clips, they move together. Ungroup them by right-clicking and choosing Group Clips again to deselect it. You can customize track colors, which by default will automatically update clip colors. You can also change individual clip colors. Large multitrack sessions can become complex, and one way to stay organized is to use specific colors for particular kinds of audio. So that's how you combine multiple audio files into a complete composition with the multitrack editor, as well as apply a music ducking effect that automatically lowers the audio level of a clip when there's a voiceover track present. Adobe Audition CC allows you to produce a multitrack session with video as a reference. For example, you might produce a mix for a film or clean up some interview audio. To follow along, copy the assets that accompany this tutorial to your Creative Cloud account. This multitrack session was created for video, so let's add a video track and a reference clip. You can easily add tracks to a multitrack session by going to the multitrack menu and choosing Track. There are a number of options, with each track type giving you controls suitable for different audio clip types. There's mono, stereo, and 5.1, for example. For this exercise, let's choose video. Now, let's add a video clip. Audition supports a wide range of video formats and has a video panel to display content. We can access the video panel in the window menu, but I'm going to switch to the Edit Audio to Video workspace to take us straight to it. Now, as I play the multitrack session, we can see the reference video.
Are you heard?
This multitrack session has 2 pieces of music, and I'd like them to crossfade. By default, when you overlap clips, a crossfade is applied automatically.
One move out of place and you're ground to a pulp. What isn't it? Pulp, you know. Is that what you want? Pulp?
There are several options when creating crossfades. For example, you might want the first piece of music to stay audible for longer, while the second piece builds more slowly. To do this, we'll create an asymmetrical crossfade. Right-click on the crossfade icon to select Asymmetrical. Now you can adjust the crossfade icons separately. These are the same icons you use when applying a fade-in or fade-out to an audio file in the waveform view.
One move out of place and you're ground to a pulp. What isn't it? Pulp, you know. Is that what you want? Pulp?
A voice track in this mix would benefit from more clarity. First, I'm going to solo the track to hear it more clearly. Soloing a track means you only hear that track. I'm going to select the voice clip, then go to the dialog options in the Essential Sound panel. Notice you can expand or collapse sections in the Essential Sound panel by clicking on the headings. I'm going to play the audio while adjusting the dynamics control to improve the sound. Let's have a listen.
One move out of place and you're ground to a pulp.
You'll notice a dynamics effect is added to the effects rack, which is giving us our new clarity. You can adjust the settings in that effect for more precise control by double-clicking on it in the effects rack. Turn off the solo option to hear the whole mix again. The music is a little too loud. I'm going to reduce the volume by adjusting the track level rather than changing the individual clips. If you're organized and keep particular kinds of audio on dedicated tracks, you can use this more efficient approach to make your adjustments. By default, the multitrack mixer shares a frame with the multitrack editor. Let's take a look at it. In fact, let's make a little change to the interface so we can see exactly what's going on. Panels in Audition can be moved between areas of the interface called frames by dragging them. Click on a panel tab, and when you drag the interface, it'll highlight new locations for you to place it. I'm going to place the mixer next to the multitrack editor so we can see both at once. Scroll with the mouse cursor over the track headers to change their height. Notice the tracks displayed in the mixer have the same names as the tracks in the multitrack editor. That's because they are the same tracks. The multitrack mixer displays several controls for each track, using the space tracks take up in the multitrack editor to display everything all at once. In addition, there's a fader control that makes it easier to apply nuanced adjustments to levels. Let's play the mix and adjust the fader for our music to improve things.
That what you want? Pulp? Emo, your goal in life. Pulp?
Of course, you can also adjust the audio level for individual clips. This voice clip is a little quiet. This line controls volume, so I'm going to drag it up a little.
Pulp!
Once you're happy with your mix, you just need to export it. Choose File, Export, Multitrack Mixdown. Then choose Entire Session. Choose a name and browse to select a location. Then pick a format. I'm going to choose WAV file. You can choose file format settings and the specific audio settings you want to apply to the mix. When you're happy with the settings, click OK, and a new file is created from your multitrack session. So that's how you produce a multitrack session using a video as a reference. Not only does Adobe Audition provide advanced audio cleanup, effects, and mixing tools, but it also integrates seamlessly with Adobe Premiere Pro CC. There are a couple of approaches to this. Let's take a look at the options. To follow along, copy the assets that accompany this tutorial to your Creative Cloud account. Here, we're in Premiere Pro, with a sequence that contains a voice recording that's noisy. Let's listen to what we have. I'm going to click into the timeline and use the spacebar to start and stop playback. This is some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps. Let's use the advanced noise reduction features offered by Audition to clean this up. To send a clip to Audition, select it, go to the Edit menu and choose Edit in Adobe Audition, Clip. Notice that I'm choosing the individual clip option rather than the sequence option, which I'll cover later. Now we're in Audition. Use the time selection tool to select the part of the audio that's noisy but shouldn't be. We're going to use this selection to tell Audition which audio to remove. Go to Effects, Noise Reduction and Restoration, Capture Noise Print. After you see the confirmation dialog box, you're ready to apply noise reduction. Deselect by clicking anywhere on the audio once. Because you haven't kept a selection, the change you're about to make will be applied to the whole audio file. Go back to the Effects menu, and this time choose the Noise Reduction category and then Noise Reduction. Right away, if you play from within this dialog box, you can hear an improvement. Here's some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps. There are advanced controls you can use to finesse the result, but I'm happy with the default settings for now, so let's click Apply. This media file is now shared by Premiere Pro and Audition, so all you need to do to hear the result in Premiere Pro is save it. The asterisk next to the file name in the Files panel shows that changes have been made to the file, but they haven't been saved. I'm going to press Ctrl-S now to save. That would be Command-S on macOS. Now let's switch back to Premiere Pro to listen to it. This is some voiceover. You'll notice I'm leaving some gaps. Much better. You can also send a complete sequence from Premiere Pro to Audition to create an advanced mix. Let's do that now. Go to the Edit menu and choose Edit in Adobe Audition, Sequence. There are some pretty straightforward options in this dialog box. I want to draw your attention to just one menu, Video. Keep this menu set to Dynamic Link. Choosing this option means that Premiere Pro will send the video part of this sequence to Audition as a live stream, meaning that changes made in Premiere Pro will update dynamically in Audition. When you click OK in this dialog box, Premiere Pro creates copies of every audio clip in the sequence and produces an XML file based on that sequence, which Audition will open, with the clips all in position ready to continue working. The Premiere Pro sequence opens in Audition as a multi-track session, and you're ready to work on the mix. Several of these voice clips have differing audio levels, so select them and go to the Essential Sound panel, which provides several advanced audio adjustments in a unified panel. Select Dialogue as an audio type, then click on the Unify Loudness heading to display the Auto Match option. Click the Auto Match button to automatically apply a non-destructive ITU loudness standard clip gain adjustment to all the selected clips so they match. The music was digitized from an LP, and it contains some clicks and pops from damage to the original vinyl record. I'm going to solo the music track so we can just hear the music. Let's listen to what we have. To clean up those clicks and pops in the audio, first double-click on the music so it opens in the waveform view. The Diagnostics panel provides a number of tools to analyze and fix audio files. Choose the declicker effect. For this complex audio, set the threshold low to identify more noise and the complexity high to expand the analysis. Click Scan to begin the analysis. The declicker has found a number of clicks and pops, so select Repair All to repair them. And let's listen again. Much better. If you don't get perfect results the first time, you can adjust the threshold and complexity controls, which vary the sensitivity to noise and guide the analysis by establishing the complexity of the original audio. It can take trial and error to find the ideal settings for a particular audio clip. It would be fun if this music gradually slowed down at the end in the way an old-style record player might wind down if it ran out of power. To achieve this effect, go to the Effects menu and choose Time and Pitch, then Pitch Bender. Choose the Turntable Losing Power preset. As soon as you do, pitch control line updating in the waveform display. You can reshape that line manually too, but for now, let's stick to the preset. Click Apply, and let's listen back in the context of our multi-track session. Once you're happy with the mix, you can output it. You might save the multi-track session as a file by going to the multi-track mixdown options. You might also choose to export it to Premiere Pro. In this instance, if you're running Premiere Pro on the same machine, after choosing the format you'd like, the audio will automatically be imported to Premiere Pro and added to your timeline. The option I want to show you is Export to Adobe Media Encoder. Notice there's no opening title on this video. Well, we used Dynamic Link to send the video from Premiere Pro to Audition, so now we can go back to Premiere Pro and add that title. I'm going to drag it into the sequence. Now, back in Audition, you can see the result right away. Let's go to File, Export, Export with Adobe Media Encoder. Choose a Media Encoder format, H.264 is fine, and then choose the preset Match Source High Bitrate. When you click OK, the completed audio mix and the dynamically linked video are sent to Adobe Media Encoder to be encoded as a new file. This means you can produce your sequence in Premiere Pro, send it to Audition for fine audio finishing, and then send it on to Adobe Media Encoder for final output and automatic publishing to a number of video hosting and social media platforms.